What's up, y'all? UFC 310 just happened this past weekend. We had some pretty weird moments, strange decision, weird reffing, etc. But overall, it was a pretty good card. And in this video, I'm going to play matchmaker. I'm going to be matching up everybody from the winners to the losers. And I'm going to go through pretty much the main card and then one fight from the prelims. I'm going to get right into this with Pantoja versus Kai Kara-France, or the winner of Umar versus Merab. But really, I'm thinking more Kai Kara-France versus Pantoja. He's coming off that first round brutal KO over Steve Erceg, Bedtime MMA. And we've never seen Steve knocked out in the first round or really finished ever. So that's a crazy, crazy moment for Kai Kara-France and a great notch in his belt. Kai Kara-France never fought Pantoja either. Also, I know Brandon Moreno already beat Kai, but this wouldn't be the first time we've seen someone who's lost to someone in the rankings get a shot at the title. I mean, look at Strickland. He lost to Cannonier, and he still got the shot against Adesanya. If they don't do that, maybe the double champ match. I've been thinking about this match for a little while. I mean, what else is there for Pantoja in the division besides Kai Kara-France? It's kind of cooked flyweight. I think double champ would also add major hype to either Pantoja or Umar Merab, whoever wins that match. But really, whoever comes out on top of the double champ match, if they even decide to do that. I mean, it really doesn't benefit bantamweight, but I don't know. I don't know what else they could really do at flyweight. It's pretty cooked. Yeah. Next, I'm going to move on to Kai Sakura. I think Kai should fight either Brandon Royval or Tatsuro Taira in Japan. Royval fight is probably more likely to happen. I mean, they won't let him dip out of the top 5 after fighting for the title, in my opinion. And I don't think they'll do the Moreno fight after his win against Albazi. That doesn't make much sense either. And I don't really want to see the Royval fight. Like, I don't think he's going to win that. He was very competitive against Pantoja, don't get me wrong, but I just don't think they should do that match. Taira, however, I think would be a really competitive matchup, especially in Japan. It'd be a massive pay-per-view or fight night event. Taira has the extreme grappling edge, especially after seeing that Pantoja versus Kai Sakura fight. But as we saw in the Royval fight, he needs to work on his striking defense, his head movement. Kai has a striking advantage for sure. He's way more fast. He's way more dynamic on the feet. He has the better power, things like that. And he'll test Tatsuro Taira's chin, as well as his head movement, like I said earlier. But it's a matchup again of styles. It's the grappler versus the striker. Oh my God, the striker. But I just think this would be a major fight in Japan for sure. Or just in general, people like Tatsuro Taira. He's pretty popular, and Kai's gaining more popularity. So yeah, I think this would be a good fight to make, but especially somewhere in an Asian country. But moving on. Shavkat versus Bilal. We pretty much all know this fight's going to happen. I'm going to pick Bilal in this fight. I also just got to say, I feel like his fight versus Leon was way more entertaining than Shavkat versus Bilal. I will give Shavkat, apparently he had a knee injury and stuff like that. But I feel like we always kind of hear that after someone has a not so entertaining or exciting fight. Like Charles just said, he was injured in his fight against Michael Chandler. Things like that. But either way, we walked away from the 310 fight thinking, damn, Ian Gary really locked up a sub almost. And he had Shavkat in some trouble, etc., things like that. So really, Ian Gary gained aura from Shavkat despite losing, which is pretty crazy. Bilal's skill for skill, I think, is just going to be better than Shavkat. He's a better striker. He's a better grappler, the better wrestler. I think he might even dunk Shavkat on his head if he gets him up against the fence. He's not going to be like Ian Gary, all zesty up against the fence, letting his pants get ripped and letting his gooch get grabbed, etc. He's not going for that. He's going to be dunking Shavkat on his head. Ian Gary did have success against Shavkat too in the clinch by not getting beaten up or taken down. Now, granted, how much is that due to the injury or not. Who really knows how much credit is really on Ian Gary? But either way, Ian Gary, he showed great balance and takedown defense from just not getting absolutely mauled in the clinch by Shavkat. I think it also helps that Ian Gary is as tall as Shavkat. If he's not taller, just as tall, and Bilal is shorter, so I wonder how that factor will play out in the fight, in the clinch, etc. But either way, I think Bilal marauds his way to a decision. All right, let's do Ian Gary. Pause. Ian Gary, I think he should fight next either Leon Edwards or Joaquin Buckley. Both these fights have great storylines. Leon, he had some beef with Ian Gary. Ian got kicked out of Leon's gym, Renegade, because they're both in the same division, obviously. This would be a pretty competitive matchup on the feet, very competitive. And the only thing I just think, this could be a complete snoozer just because of Leon. And I'm not too sure how you guys feel about this fight, but I feel like it's just kind of too late to make this one. It would have been better a few months ago if they made this fight, but Leon was champ a few months ago. So, I don't know, maybe they still make this fight. But overall, I feel like the fight we all kind of want to see now is Buck versus Cuck. This is the fight to make. Everybody wants to see this. After the matchups got switched for 310 and this weekend coming, Ian still said he'd fight Colby if he won, but maybe he'd still hopefully fight Buckley too if he wins. We'll see about that. The build-up for this fight would be really crazy. It'd be amazing to see the shit talk between both of them and just both of them going back and forth. It'd be probably crazy cringe, to be honest with you guys. But welterweight is so stacked right now. It's one of the deepest divisions right now in terms of skill. There's so many combinations in terms of fights to make, like in terms of JDM, other fighters as well, Sean Brady, etc. But yeah, I'm going to move on to the next fight. Ciryl Gane. I think Ciryl Gane most likely is going to fight Tom Aspinall next. I heard John Jones is trying to fight Ngannou, or rather Ngannou's trying to fight John Jones. I really don't think Dana's going to let this happen, first of all. Not only that, imagine the nightmare the contract negotiations are going to be if they do this. I think Ngannou's almost up on his deal, but first of all, John Jones is a complete diva with the contract negotiations, and then Ngannou's going to come in and he's going to want a lot of money. I just don't see this fight ever materializing. I think John Jones is going to say, like, oh, man, like, we just couldn't get the contract signed, couldn't get the deal done. He's going to retire and just ride off into the sunset. That's what it's going to be. So who's going to be left? Ciryl Gane. Ciryl Gane still hasn't fought Tom Aspinall. They're both almost the same style, so that makes this fight pretty intriguing as well. And Tom is the biggest name that Ciryl Gane could fight right now. I mean, he's been calling for it ever since Tommy won the freaking belt, the interim belt, that is. And before that, though, when Tom was on his way up, he wouldn't give Ciryl wouldn't give Tom the same shot, the same light of day to even get his shot. So it's crazy that Ciryl Gane's trying to play this game with Tom now, that he's in the position of power. But either way, I think Tom smokes Gane like a blunt. I think he finishes him pretty quickly. I know we haven't seen Gane ever chinned, but I think what happens is probably Tommy club and subs him, like knocks him down very quickly and locks up some crazy jiu-jitsu move on Ciryl Gane. But moving on, I'm going to talk about now Volkov and who he should fight next. I think Volkov, his only real option, I guess, if they do Tommy versus Ciryl Gane, is Volkov versus Blades 2, the rematch. Heavyweight, it's so garbage kind of in the top 10. There's no depth. There's only like 6 or 7 guys in the top 10 that are actually high-skilled, world-class, elite fighters. And I'm pissed about this fight because I predicted the Volkov-Gane fight perfectly to a T. Volkov should be the one fighting Tommy next. he completely earned his shot. He landed more. He was mixing in teeps, 1-2, mixing up body shots, etc. He had better defense. He was blocking a lot of Gon's shots. If you watch that back, especially in the first round, his defense was really on point. He even probably broke Gon's foot in the first round from checking all his kicks. He had better ground game as well. He was throwing up submissions. He did more damage in the fight as well. He got that spinning back fist and dropped Gon. I mean, I could just go on and on. He had longer control time as well. They were talking about control time for the Ian Gary fight versus Shavkat. Ian had some control time and whatnot. Where was the control time for the Volkov fight? I mean, I feel like with certain other fighters, control time all of a sudden matters, but when someone's completely dominating and using every asset of MMA, it's like it just, it doesn't matter all of a sudden. Crazy stuff. It was a competitive fight. You know what I mean? But close to a round of control time, spinning back fist, all these things I said. At the end of the day, though, it's all about who's popular, who's going to make the biggest next fight or the most desirable fight for the UFC, not what the fans want or what's viewed as the most competitive fight. But I think Volkov, he just got to pull a Michael Chandler, and he's got to pick himself up by the bootstrap, man, and just keep going, because I don't know, they completely fucked Volkov. Crazy shit. His next fight, he needs to send an absolute message. I really don't know what else to say. Very, very crazy stuff. I hope he appeals the decision, honestly, and gets the fight a win overturned. You know what I mean? But yeah, very crazy stuff to see. Moving on, though. The next fight I want to see, Bryce Mitchell versus Doo Ho Choi. Both these guys won in a finish this weekend. Doo Ho Choi called out Bryce in his post-fight. And also, I think both of these guys just make a great matchup, and it's winnable for either one of them. It's the striking for Doo Ho Choi, and it's the grappling for Bryce. I just kind of think this is a no-brainer. Both these guys are fresh in everyone's minds, so make this fight somewhat soon next year. I mean, both guys didn't take too much damage, so yeah. Make this fight happen, Dana. Make this fight happen. Next up, Kron Gracie. Get Kron Gracie the fuck out of here, man. Send him back to the prelims, the grappling prelims at that. Not the UFC's grappling either. Send him to Flow. Send him to CJI. Anything else, bro. But just stay out of the UFC octagon. All right, I'm gonna talk a little bit about Aljo. I seen that he's talking about retiring online. I seen it on his TikTok. Aljo, I have not liked you for a while. Like, I'm a hater. But a few fights ago, before the O'Malley fight, I really started to believe in you and your skill. And you actually started to turn around on me. And I just don't want to see Aljo retire. I feel like there's other fights he could take. He could make a genuine run at the belt. Even if he doesn't win, he could boost his legacy even more. And it's just crazy to see him say that. I never thought I'd see Aljo trying to retire so soon, but it's pretty sad to see. Aljo, I hope you stay. I hope you find some reasons to say, but that's just me being selfish as a fan. You don't owe anyone anything. You had a great title run at bantamweight. But, yeah, I don't know. I wonder how that gets sorted. And, yeah, that's very crazy to see after that Movsar fight. I don't think he got robbed, but it was a very competitive fight. Aljo did great in the first, things like that. But yeah, I did not think he would up and retire like that. That's very crazy stuff to see. But yeah, I'm just going to move on from that. All right, Chase Hooper, I think in his next fight, he should fight Paddy Pimblett. All right, Paddy Pimblett, he's still somewhat unproven besides the Bobby Green fight. He definitely looked good in that fight. He looked like he was on another level. But I feel like you could argue Chase has fought some of the tougher competition, especially, I know they both fought Jordan Levitt, but then Borishev, and then now Clay Guida. And back then, a few years ago, Clay Guida might have won that fight against Chase Hooper. Or, well, Obviously, he didn't because they grappled a few years ago, but I think you guys know what I mean. A little bit of a younger Clay Guida definitely stands a better chance against Chase Hooper. But either way, Chase Hooper is one of the most improved fighters at 155, period, or is the most improved at 155. He deserves a ranked matchup next. He looked great out there. Just like I was saying, he beat Borishev. Everyone was counting him out in that fight. His striking looked way better in that fight. Even now, his striking seems to steadily improve. His transitions on the ground are very high level. You know, his scrambles, his BJJ. And I feel like also now he fights at a higher pace, a little bit quicker than before, for sure. Paddy, he's also definitely improved a good bit. We kind of thought, Bobby would outstrike him or try to outstrike him as a game plan, work the outside, work the leg kicks, etc. Paddy himself was working kicks on Bobby, hurting him to the legs. I'll give it to Bobby. He had the teeps to the knee, the 1-2 every so often. But Paddy was overall landing the more powerful shots on the feet. He did look a teeny bit slow, I gotta say, but he has also improved on his striking dramatically. I think in this fight, if they were to fight Chase and Paddy, Paddy would be the more powerful fighter. I could see him dropping Chase with some heavy, hard leg kicks, just repeatedly eating up Chase's legs because he's taller than Paddy, and just try to wear Chase down over time, outwork him, outmuscle him. I don't really know if they'll make this matchup because the UFC obviously really likes Paddy. He's one of the biggest, or if not the biggest MMA star in England or in the UK right now, right up there with Tommy. Tommy, I feel like, is not as popular as Paddy. More people kind of recognize and know of Paddy. He's got a little bit more star power. But either way, Chase, I feel like, is a real tough matchup for him. Plus, I think Chase also has a lot of star potential. And the fact that a lot of people compare Chase to Charles Oliveira is a great thing because they both have the nice guy type of personality. Similar, you know what I mean? Very similar in that aspect. But maybe we see Paddy versus Chase down the road. You know what I mean? Maybe not as soon as his very next fight. But I could see this fight happening later on. Both of these guys are very good fighters and definitely deserve to be in top 10, top 15. But yeah, we'll see what happens. If they do fight, I got Chase Hooper all day. That's about it, you guys. Let me know your thoughts. Who do you want to see fight most next? And who do you want to see them fight? So who do y'all want to fight next? And who do y'all want to see them fight against? I don't know why I said that's so weird. But either way, y'all take care. I'll see y'all soon. Love y'all. Thank y'all for watching.